stop scrolling. Take a breath. Because what I'm about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding across America. What if I told you that inside ordinary drawers, old jars, and forgotten collections are 1 cent and dime coins worth $500,000 or even more? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Lincoln wheat penny and classic Roosevelt dime silver coins. Pieces of American history with iconic designs and unbelievable hidden treasure potential. From old copper wheat pennies to historic silver dimes minted in the United States, some of these small coins have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at major auctions. In this video, we'll explore the top 4 most valuable, expensive, and ultra-rare wheat pennies and silver dimes ever discovered. These coins are highly sought after by serious collectors and smart investors. We'll break down rare P, D, and S mint marks, copper and silver second-place metal composition differences, proof coins, and famous mint errors. Coins that look dirty, worn, or ordinary, but could secretly be worth thousands or even millions of dollars today. So before you spend that old penny or dime, watch this carefully. Next up, coin number 1. The 1977 dime without a mint mark is a coin that many people overlook in their everyday change, yet represents a powerful chapter in modern American coinage history. At first glance, it looks like a simple, small, silver-colored coin, but behind its smooth, round surface lies a story of metal change, economic pressure, and collector curiosity. This coin was struck by the United States Mint, and because it carries no mint mark, it was produced at the historic facility in Philadelphia. In 1977, the United States of America was navigating inflation, economic adjustment, and the aftermath of the early 1970s financial instability. Small coins like the dime were essential in daily commerce, moving rapidly through stores, vending machines, and public transportation systems. Many people assume a 1977 dime might be silver, but the truth is important. Regular circulation dimes minted after 1964 are not silver. By 1977, the dime was composed of a copper core layered with nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance, but without precious metal content. True 90% silver dimes ended in 1964, so a normal 1977 no-mint mark dime does not contain intrinsic silver value. On the obverse of the coin appears the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose image has appeared on the dime since 1946. Roosevelt was honored for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II and for his support of the March of Dimes campaign against polio. The reverse features a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Philadelphia struck millions of dimes in 1977, making most examples common today. Coins found in circulation are typically worth face value unless they are in exceptionally high mint state condition. However, value can change if the coin is preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition with strong luster and minimal contact marks. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services can sell for significantly more than 10 cents. Collectors also search for mint errors. Off-center strikes, missing clad layers, wrong planchet errors, or dramatic die breaks can transform a common 1977 dime into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. These rare mistakes are where serious collector excitement begins. A 1977 dime accidentally struck on a silver planchet from an earlier era, though extremely rare, would attract major attention and strong bidding at auction. Coins that appear dirty or dull are not automatically rare. In fact, heavy wear, scratches, or corrosion usually reduce value. Cleaning a coin removes its original surface and harms collector interest. The most valuable coins are those that retain original mint luster and sharp detail. It is important to address exaggerated claims. A regular circulated 1977 no mint mark dime will not make someone a billionaire overnight. Stories promising millions for every old coin create unrealistic expectations. However, rare error coins and top-grade specimens absolutely can command strong premiums in the collector market. From a historical perspective, the dime itself carries deep roots. The first U.S. dimes were struck in the late 1700s, reflecting a monetary system based on decimal values. Globally, silver coinage stretches back over 2,500 years, while copper-based coinage dates back more than 5,000 years to ancient civilizations that used metal pieces for structured trade. The 1977 dime stands within this long tradition of small denomination coins facilitating everyday exchange. The removal of silver from dimes after 1964 was a response to rising silver prices and economic pressures. By 1977, Americans were fully accustomed to clad coinage, even though the silver color remained. That transition represents an important economic shift in modern U.S. monetary history. For collectors today, the thrill lies in condition rarity and error discovery. A brilliant, uncirculated 1977 dime with full strike detail can be surprisingly attractive. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels are far scarcer than worn pocket change examples. Even though the majority of 1977 no-mint marked dimes remain common, the possibility of discovering a rare mint error keeps collectors searching through rolls and bank boxes. Knowledge, patience, and careful inspection are the keys to finding true value. In the end, the 1977 dime without a mint mark is not a hidden silver treasure in ordinary form, but it is a meaningful piece of American coinage history. It reflects economic change, design continuity, and the long global story of metal money. While it may not instantly change your fortune, a rare high-grade or error example could certainly be worth far more than face value. The true power of the coin lies not in myth, but in understanding its history, composition, and condition before deciding what it is truly worth. Next up, the 2012 P. Roosevelt dime is a modern American coin that many people spend without a second thought. Yet for collectors, it represents the continuing story of U.S. coinage, changing metal compositions, and the exciting hunt for rare high-grade and error pieces hidden in ordinary pocket change. At first glance, it looks like a small silver coin, but understanding its true history separates fact from fantasy. This coin was struck by the United States Mint, and the P Mint mark tells us it was produced at the historic Philadelphia Mint in Philadelphia. By 2012, the United States of America had long transitioned away from silver coinage for everyday circulation, and the dime was made of a copper core layered with nickel, giving it a bright silver appearance without containing precious silver. The design features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. Roosevelt has appeared on the dime since 1946, chosen in part because of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II and his connection to the March of Dimes campaign. The reverse shows a torch flanked by olive and oak branches, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. It is important to understand clearly that regular 2012 P dimes do not contain silver. Silver dimes for circulation ended in 1964. However, the Mint does produce special proof versions for collectors that are struck in 90% silver and sold directly in collector sets. Those silver proof versions are different from the standard circulation coins and carry higher value due to their precious metal content and limited production. Millions of 2012 P dimes were produced for circulation, making most examples common and worth face value if found in pocket change. A circulated example with scratches, dull surfaces, or heavyware typically holds no premium beyond 10 cents. Dirty condition does not automatically mean rare. In fact, heavyware usually reduces value. Where value increases dramatically is in condition rarity and mint errors. A 2012 P dime preserved in pristine mint state condition, with blazing luster and minimal contact marks, can be worth significantly more to collectors. Coins graded at very high mint state levels by professional grading services can sell for strong premiums because truly flawless modern coins are surprisingly difficult to find. Mint errors create the real excitement. Off-center strikes, double strikes, missing clad layers, broad strikes, or wrong planchet errors can turn a common dime into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, if a 2012 P dime were accidentally struck on a silver planchet intended for proof production, it would attract major attention from collectors. Such mistakes are rare, but not impossible in the minting process. The broader history of silver coinage stretches back over 2,500 years, while copper-based coinage goes back more than 5,000 years to ancient civilizations in Asia and the Mediterranean. Silver coins once represented stored wealth and international trade power. In the United States, rising silver prices in the 1960s forced the government to remove silver from circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars. That economic shift reshaped modern American coinage. By 2012, Americans were fully accustomed to clad coinage. The silver appearance remained, but the intrinsic value was tied only to its face value unless it was a special collector silver issue. This transition reflects how currency evolves with economic realities rather than staying tied to precious metals forever. It is also important to address exaggerated claims. A regular 2012 P circulation dime will not make someone a billionaire overnight. Stories suggesting millions of dollars for ordinary modern dimes are unrealistic. However, rare mint errors or perfect condition specimens absolutely can command impressive prices in auctions among serious collectors. If you believe you have a special 2012 P dime, the best approach is careful inspection under magnification. Look for unusual doubling, misalignment, weight differences, or missing layers. If something appears truly unusual, professional authentication is essential before assuming high value. The real treasure in coin collecting is knowledge. Understanding composition, mint marks, production history, and grading standards protects you from selling too cheaply and from believing exaggerated claims. Even modern coins can become valuable, but only under the right conditions of rarity and preservation. The 2012 P. Roosevelt dime stands as a continuation of a long monetary tradition. It connects ancient silver coinage, 20th century economic reform, and modern production technology into one small circular piece of metal. While most examples are worth only 10 cents, rare errors and top-grade coins can be worth far more. In the end, this dime reminds us that the power to change fortune does not lie in every coin, but in the rare few that combine history, condition, and rarity. The key is patience, careful examination, and realistic understanding of the coin market. Next, the 1927 wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those classic American copper coins that quietly holds nearly a century of history inside its small round frame. And while it may look ordinary at first glance, its story connects booming prosperity, approaching economic collapse, and the enduring legacy of one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. This coin was struck by the United States Mint, and because there is no mint mark beneath the date, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint in Philadelphia. During 1927, the United States of America was deep into the Roaring Twenties, a time of jazz music, stock market growth, expanding cities, and rising consumer culture. Pennies moved rapidly through the economy, buying everyday goods when 1 cent still had noticeable purchasing power. The coin is composed primarily of bronze, a copper-based alloy that gave new cents a rich red color when they left the minting presses. Over decades of circulation and exposure to air, most surviving examples turn brown or dark chocolate in tone. On the obverse appears the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, introduced in 1909 to mark the centennial of his birth. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it became the first regular U.S. circulating coin to feature a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. The reverse shows 2 wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent, a design that symbolized agricultural strength and national stability. The wheat reverse ran from 1909 to 1958, making the 1927 issue part of the series' strong middle years. Philadelphia struck tens of millions of cents in 1927, so most examples encountered today are common in circulated grades. Because these coins were heavily used, it is normal to find worn examples with flattened details on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline. The wheat stalks on the reverse often show smoothing near the tips. Coins discovered in jars or old collections may appear dirty, scratched, or darkened. However, cleaning a coin can permanently damage its natural surface and reduce its collector value. Experienced collectors prefer original surfaces, even if toned brown, over polished shine. When it comes to value, condition is everything. A heavily circulated 1927 no mint mark penny may be worth only a small premium over face value. However, uncirculated examples with strong original red luster are far scarcer and can command significantly higher prices. Coins graded at the highest mint state levels are particularly desirable because few were preserved carefully during the 1920s. Collectors also examine 1927 pennies for die cracks, subtle doubling, or other minting varieties. While the 1927D from Denver is known for condition rarity, the Philadelphia issue without mint mark is more available, though top-grade examples still bring strong attention in the market. It is important to separate excitement from exaggeration. A standard circulated 1927 penny will not make someone a billionaire overnight. Claims of millions for ordinary worn coins are unrealistic. However, exceptional high-grade examples or rare mint errors can sell for thousands of dollars depending on demand and preservation. The historical context gives this coin emotional depth. Just 2 years after 1927, the stock market would crash in 1929, leading to the Great Depression. That means every 1927 penny was circulating during the final years of economic optimism before one of the most difficult financial periods in modern history. Looking even further back, copper coinage has existed for more than 5,000 years. Ancient civilizations used copper and bronze pieces as structured money long before modern mints existed. The 1927 wheat penny stands in that ancient global tradition of small copper coins facilitating everyday trade. The Lincoln cent itself has survived world wars, metal shortages, and design changes. It remains one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Holding a 1927 penny is like holding a small-time capsule from the Jazz Age, a tangible link to early 20th century America. Today, the real treasure lies in knowledge and careful inspection. A coin with strong detail, minimal marks, and natural luster is always more valuable than one that has been damaged or cleaned. Professional grading can confirm authenticity and unlock higher market value for top-quality coins. While most 1927 no mint mark pennies are affordable collectibles, the thrill of coin collecting comes from the possibility of discovering a beautifully preserved red specimen or an unusual mint error. That excitement fuels the hobby across generations. In the end, the 1927 wheat penny without mint mark is more than a 1-cent coin. It is a symbol of craftsmanship, history, and resilience. It may not instantly change your fortune, but in exceptional condition, it absolutely holds meaningful collector value. Its true power lies in the history stamped into its copper surface and the story it carries through nearly a century of American life. Next up, the 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark is a small copper coin that carries the weight of a world standing on the edge of war, a nation rebuilding its strength, and a design that had already become one of the most recognized images in American history. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary brown cent pulled from an old jar, but behind that simple round shape lies a powerful story of resilience, transition, and collector fascination. This coin was struck by the United States Mint, and because it has no mint mark beneath the date, it was produced at the historic Mint in Philadelphia. In 1939, the United States of America was still recovering from the Great Depression while watching Europe descend into World War II. Every penny circulating that year carried real buying power and moved through hands that understood the value of a single cent. The 1939 penny is composed primarily of bronze, a copper-based alloy that gave new coins a rich red glow when freshly struck. Over decades, most surviving examples toned to brown due to oxidation and circulation. On the obverse appears the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular U.S. circulating coin. The reverse features 2 wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and national stability. By 1939, this wheat design had already been in use for 3 decades. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of pennies that year, meaning most examples found today are common in circulated condition. Because these coins were heavily used in daily commerce, many surviving 1939 cents show were on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline. The wheat stock tips often appear flattened. Coins discovered in jars or inherited collections may look dark, scratched, or dirty. However, cleaning a coin can permanently damage its original surface and reduce collector value. Experienced collectors always prefer original surfaces, even if toned brown, over artificially polished shine. When it comes to value, condition makes all the difference. A heavily circulated 1939 no-mint mark penny may be worth only a modest premium above face value. However, uncirculated examples with strong original red luster are significantly scarcer and can command much higher prices. Coins graded in the highest mint state categories by professional grading services can reach impressive auction levels because pristine survivors from this era are difficult to find. Collectors also search for mint errors and varieties. While the famous double die is more associated with other years, unusual die cracks, off-center strikes, or rare striking anomalies can increase value dramatically. That is where real excitement begins, not in every coin, but in the rare few with something special. It is important to separate fact from exaggeration. A standard circulated 1939 penny will not make someone a billionaire overnight. Stories promising millions for every old copper coin are unrealistic. However, rare high-grade examples or unusual errors absolutely can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on preservation and demand. The historical context adds emotional depth. In 1939, global tensions were rising rapidly. Within a few years, copper would become strategically important for wartime production, leading to the steel cents of 1943. That makes the 1939 penny part of the final pre-war Bronze Era before dramatic wartime changes reshaped American coinage. Looking at the broader picture, copper coinage has existed for more than 5,000 years. Ancient civilizations used copper and bronze as durable, workable metals for everyday transactions. The 1939 wheat penny stands within that long global tradition of small copper coins supporting trade and commerce across generations. The Lincoln cent itself has become one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history, surviving economic crises, metal shortages, and redesigns. Holding a 1939 penny is like holding a small time capsule from the final moments before the world entered global conflict. Today, the real power of this coin lies in knowledge and careful examination. A coin with sharp detail, strong luster, and minimal marks is always more valuable than one that has been damaged or cleaned. Professional authentication can confirm condition and unlock higher market value. While most 1939 no-mint mark pennies remain affordable collectibles, the thrill of coin collecting comes from the hunt for exceptional condition and rare errors. That possibility keeps collectors searching through rolls, jars, and inherited collections. In the end, the 1939 wheat penny without mint mark is more than a 1-cent coin. It is a symbol of endurance, craftsmanship, and history. It may not instantly transform your fortune, but in exceptional condition, it absolutely holds meaningful collector value. Its true treasure lies in the story stamped into its copper surface and the nearly century-long journey it has taken through American life.